Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Kiger here. Up here today, guys. I decided I'm gonna do the final part of this ASMR PlayStation 2 collection and sort of round it up in this sort of video is to say sort of like I don't think we're going to be doing another PlayStation 2 collection anytime soon, so to say. So I wanted to wrap this up in a sort of video where I can just talk about the PlayStation 2, why I collect it, what started me collecting it, and just some of the pros and cons and things that I enjoy about the PlayStation 2. Now, again, sorry there's nothing really for reference. It's going to be a bit of a talking video, unfortunately. Before I do that, I just want to say that I tried out a few games over the last couple of days. I tried out that Disadea game on PlayStation 4. I didn't really like it. It seemed like a game that I could enjoy, but I don't really much care for the fighting mechanics. I'm more into sort of fast-paced 3D fighters, like that sort of thing, rather than ones that's all based on having to use skills and things. I don't really understand it. Perhaps it's quite a complicated game, unfortunately, and yeah, it's good, but I just don't really understand it enough to really fully enjoy it. I guess if I had some time and looked into it, I could probably enjoy it more. Tried a bit of Samurai Warriors 4 Empires, again, much of the same with Samurai Warriors. Can't hate on some Samurai Warriors, but I will say Samurai Warriors 4 Empires definitely is a bit on the more difficult side. It seems like it's a bit more challenging, I will say. And today I tried out a game. It's free this weekend on the Xbox if you have gold. Sometimes they do like free games for the weekend that you can play, and today they had it was both Metro games, which I've already played and completed both, but they had that Override Mech City Brawler, or whatever it was called, and at first I thought, you know what, I'll try it out, because it seemed like a game that I could enjoy. At first I weren't too sure about it. I tried it, went straight into a quick mode, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Did the tutorial, and then I actually played it for about an hour, and actually I really enjoyed it, actually. I might end up buying it at some point because it's actually a pretty fun game. I know it's on Switch, so I could see myself playing that on Switch quite a bit. But that being said, that's just what I've been playing recently, and tonight I'm going to be watching a movie. Tonight's a movie night. Just been a long day. I've been up early, so going to get into bed tonight and just chillax with a movie. I'm watching Meet the Parents. I've never watched that movie, and see what that's like. But that being said, PlayStation 2, guys. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember, I look back and I goes, when I first did my PlayStation 2 collection, I put like nearly 200 games, as if that was like crazy for, a video. And, now I've got nearly 1,000 PlayStation 2 games. And it's like, wow. I did that PlayStation 2 video about, what, five years ago, give or take. Maybe less, maybe more, I don't really know. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, a good amount of time ago. And I what really started me with the PlayStation 2 is I grew up with the PlayStation 2 growing up, of course. The PlayStation 2 was such a fantastic system for its time, very, very influential in the video game market. It's one of the most sold popular consoles of all time back in its day, and it really revolutionized gaming and really it was really when, in my opinion, I think PlayStation 2 was really where gaming started to become more of this serious thing, and it seemed like they were trying to put effort into their games rather than video games being just a gimmick, something for geeky kid. Everyone had a PlayStation 2 growing up, and me the same, of course. I love I grew up with it. There's a ton of great games, and I could sit here and talk hours on end about all the games that we played growing up, and I've already done a few videos on that, so to say. But what really brought me back to the PlayStation 2, because before, I didn't have the PlayStation 2. I remember I had the Xbox One and Xbox 360 and all this stuff. And obviously, like always, when you were younger, when you got a new system, you sold your old one to get the new stuff and all this stuff. And that was how it is. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, I remember my mate Ryan had a PlayStation 2 and about 20 games, and I said to him, would you sell me, well, about 15 games, maybe about 10, 15 games. And I said to him, would you sell it to me? And he did. And it really began from there, you know. That system died after a while, and then I ended up getting another PlayStation Slim, and then that one started fucking up, and then I've got the fat one, which is the one that I'm still using to this day. And I personally think the fat model is better. I think it's more sturdier, and they both have their, you know, their back and forth, their pros and cons, as to say. But it really began from there. You know, I had like 10 games, and then that was it. When I started going into, you know, getting money and started to go and get games and go into CEX and just come home with, you know, 20, 40, 50, you know, hundreds of PlayStation 2 games over the years. It just goes to show, you know, why do I really like getting the PlayStation 2 games? First of all, they're dirt cheap. You know, PlayStation 2 is at that point now where it's not classed as retro, really. It's maybe in the next 2-3 years, PlayStation 2 would be classed as retro, in my opinion. It's transitioning now, and now retro gaming is popular again. Now, you know, CEX and everything are selling NES games and you know, Game Boy games and Super Nintendo, Genesis. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, I couldn't picture this. But yeah, you know, and I think a lot of people look at the PlayStation 2 and they say it's an outdated system. They don't say it's retro. They say, you know, it's old, it's outdated. Which, again, I don't know. I agree, but I also disagree. I think the PlayStation 2 is a system that, no matter how old you get, you're still going to find something on the PlayStation 2 that's worth playing. You know, nearly 3,000 games worldwide, you know, globally. It's not an easy system to go through a full set for, which brings me to my next point, which I'll come back to in a minute, actually, the collecting side of things. But I'm talking about the actual gaming and experiences first, and then I'll go into the collecting side of things. But, you know, putting in a PlayStation 2, you're always gonna, you know, find something to play on it. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really play my PlayStation 2 that much at the moment. You know, lately I haven't really been playing video games, but I'm gonna try and go, like, one day I'll do a video games and the next day will be, you know, a relaxing day. So if I've got the lion in the morning and I've got the extra sleep, then I'll be all right to play the Xbox and stuff and PlayStation and consoles. Whereas if I haven't had a good sleep, you know, it's best that I just get into bed at night and watch a movie and relax after a long day, so to say. But you know, PlayStation 2, just every time I go into CEX, you know, what made me really want a full PlayStation 2 collection, you know, because it's not easy. Let's be honest. No, I don't really know. I think anyone really has a full PlayStation 2 set worldwide, you know, every single PlayStation 2 game, because it's not really something that's that easy to do, because of a lot of these games there's not a lot of information about, and whether they exist or not is beyond me. You know, some of these games have sold hundreds of pounds, you know, for shitty, you know, games that may have only come out in like Belgium or something like that. You know, really obscure titles that might have only came out in like India. You know, I know there's a game in India that came out called like Desi Adi or something like that, which is like an Indian football. I know it exists because I've seen gameplay footage for it, but as for the actual game itself, finding that would be almost impossible, because it's one of those things, you know, unless you were in India, you know, you're not going to have it. And that's something that brings me to my next point is, why do I want a full PlayStation 2 collection? What keeps me going? When I go and see, you know, I just see about, you know, they might have about 100 and something PlayStation 2 games there. Now it's coming to a really hard point now with PlayStation 2 to me to get PlayStation 2 games. occasionally I'll see, you know, the same ones that I don't have, which are the, you know, the same contenders, like the Buzz games, the SingStar games, the iToy games, you know, the football games, the sports games, games that are dirt cheap, you know, but I just don't buy them that much because I don't know why. I will start buying them because obviously I need them for the collection. When we make some more room, of course. At the moment, I'm a bit chuffed for room, so don't be surprised if there ain't really much in terms of pickups. I think I'm going to save up for a Switch, I think. But that being said, you know, it's crazy. And then, like I said, you might see like the more expensive, like the £5 to £10 games, you know, like the football, the fighting games, like the Street Fighters, the arcade sort of compilations. You know, some of the harder to find titles or the uncommon titles. And then you get into the rare stuff, you know, like the Dot Hack games and the Disgaea series and things like Suedekin and stuff like that. You know, harder to find games. And I still kick myself that I had Suedekin 5 and I sold it. I don't know why I did that. I remember that. It's crazy, guys. It really is crazy how, you know, many PlayStation 2 games that I can see and I'm like, got it. And I go, oh, I don't have this one, but oh, wait a minute, I don't really want to spend that much money on one game, you know what I mean? I'm trying to go through my games and my movies now. That's why I'm doing this one day gaming, one day movie or TV, you know, DVDs or something, so I can go through these collections and actually say that I've watched or at least played them at least once or something, you know what I mean? Just because, you know, I feel the power inside me. I think the PlayStation 2 keeps me going because when you walk into my house, the first thing you'll see is the stack of PlayStation 2 games on a bookcase. You've seen it, I've seen it, everyone sees it. And it's impressive to some people because they're like, wow, you know, people go, wow, they're impressed by that. You know, when you walk into a room and you see someone's game collection, I always find that if I walked into someone's house and they had a stack of like NES games or something like that, a big selection of them, that's more impressive to me than like a PC with like 1,000 games on Steam or something like that. Like I said, this isn't a video, I'm not talking about digital and physical games. Like I said, you know, you've got emulators and things like that, but that's not what we're talking about. I think PlayStation 2 for me is the system that no matter what, because I always say to myself, you know, it's good to have some expensive games in your collection, just in case, you know, because there have been times where I've had to sell a few games to get a bit of money because I've been a bit chuffed for money and I've needed, you know, emergency funds, which, you know, is my own fault. But the PlayStation 2 is always the system that I'm like, you know what, I'm not touching these games at all. You know, I'm not selling them. These are the games that I want the full collection for. I've made mistakes in the past by selling a couple of the rare ones, which again, I didn't want to do, but I had to. But you know, why PlayStation 2 for me? It's my favorite system of all time. I grew up with it. I have a ton of great memories for it and nostalgia for it. Yes, some people might say nostalgia blinds you. You know, PlayStation 2 isn't as good as Xbox and the GameCube and all this shit. I'm not going to sit here and compare the three systems. I've got all three systems. Well, I've got a Wii Cube with all GameCube games on anyway. So, you know, I think the PlayStation 2, yeah, even though it was the least powerful system out of the three at the time, it still, to this day, most people go, PlayStation 2. You know, ask everyone in school back in the day, it was always a PlayStation 2 rather than a GameCube or an Xbox. You know, you had the odd people that did have a GameCube or an Xbox. I had a GameCube as well growing up, when my older brother did. But, you know, the PlayStation 2 is one of those systems that is very influential in my time because I was young. You know, when I really got into gaming, that the PlayStation 2 was really where I started to get into gaming. You know, I had the PlayStation 1 beforehand, but it was really the PlayStation 2 where I seriously got into gaming. I seriously put time into it, and I seriously, you know, played it all the time and played it with my friends and my family, you know, my brothers and stuff. And, you know, no matter what happens with gaming in general, the PlayStation 2 is going to be a system that I can always go back to, no matter what. And, you know, yes, I've got about 1,000 games and I've only played about 150, 200 of those, you know, in all of my life, you know what I mean? So, like I said, it's nice to be able to start going through different games, even if it means I'm playing a different game, you know, every day or something. I don't mind doing that. You know, sometimes I do want to continue on with a game and play a game for a while. You know, if I started God of War, for example, on PlayStation 4, I'd probably end up playing that, you know, for the next few days or something. But it's important to, if you've got a big collection, it's important to, if you're like me, you've got a big game collection and not a lot of time to play them, it's important to try and balance out playing different games and playing the same game, you know, and, you know, progressing and stuff. You know, there are some games that, you know, you can play on a daily basis, like for me, for example, you know, Overwatch and Killing Floor 2, it's been the main sort of two games that I've really been sort of like playing on a daily basis, almost, you know, every night. Or that I do go on the Xbox, excuse me. That's normally the games that I'll go on, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's nice to sort of, like I said, with that mech game that I tried out today, it's nice to try something different, even if it's, you know, just an hour and you're trying out something different. It's new to you, isn't it? So I think but that being said, I think hopefully with the PlayStation 2 now, I'm sort of in a hard place now with the PlayStation 2 because, like I said, a lot of the games that I'm coming across are the more expensive ones and the uncommon games. The common games that I don't have are, like I said, Buzz games, iToy, that sort of thing, which, again, I might start getting PlayStation accessories and things. I do want that. It's just got to try and find the right amount of space for it and things. That's the struggles, isn't it? But PlayStation 2 has always been a system that, no matter what happens, like I said, I'm always going to go back to it. I can always go back and play these games, despite, you know, some of them, you know, may not look as good and they may not play as well as they used to, and, you know, nostalgia can blind you. It's my system, you know. Some people grew up with the NES, so even though they've got PS4s and Xbox Ones, they can always go back and play their favourites on the NES, you know, like Mario and, you know, classics like that, or, you know, Sega Genesis, you know, Sonic and, you know, classics and, you know, things like that. But, yeah, it was nice to go through the PlayStation 2 collection once again, and sort of, yes, it was nice to do it in ASMR because I know a lot of people enjoy the ASMR side of things. And for a big system like that, you know, sorry it was 11 parts. I guess this is part 12 almost. I'm sorry that it took a while to go through and it took a while to sort of like do it. It's just trying to find the right time to do that because you've got to take all the games off and then stuff like that. So, but the PlayStation 2, guys, what can be said other than it's my system? You know, it's what I grew up with, it's what I loved playing, and there's always something new on the PlayStation. When I see a game that I've never seen before on the PlayStation, I get a little bit excited inside, you know. I'm like, wow, I've never seen this one before, wonder what this is like. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end this video here. So this has been a bit of a chat about the PlayStation 2 and sort of rounding it up and things like that. Sorry if I haven't talked too in depth about the system. This isn't really a system review or anything like that. This is just me sharing why I go so much for the PlayStation 2 and some of my you know, tripes and things from it. Is there any cons really with the PlayStation 2? There is a lot of shovelware on the PlayStation 2 and a lot of sports games, but again, that is on any system. So that is nothing. I don't think that's a con by any means, yeah. There's about 50 fucking basketball games, yeah, but what system don't have that many basketball games, you know? It's crazy, you know what I mean? They may not have a lot of value to some, but hey, I'll give them a home. At Kiger's, the Mad Kiger's Hotel for Games. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Maybe that'd be amazing. If I ever got a lot of money, I could create a gaming hotel. That'd be awesome. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end this video here. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and, of course, comment below. Let me know what is your all-time favourite system. What system do you have to get every time you go out and do your pickups? What is the system you're looking for the most? PlayStation 2, always for me. Anyway, guys, and as always, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. Yeah, excuse me. And as always, have a nice day. And check out all the social media links in the description below if I remember to do it. And check out the Patreon and stuff like that if you want to support the channel in any way. I appreciate it if you do that. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll do a little slide in, slide in. Give a little tip underneath. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.